Hey guys, a few UNUN hints from our friend Al. Now, I hope I didn't scare you with that evil UFO. How do I know he's evil? Look! Look! That could be me some night in the scary woods as I drive back to Michigan from my brother's house in Ohio. I'm already petrified whilst driving in that state of Ohio anyway. Sorry, Terry. Hang on. Okay, what I wanted to do is give you a couple hints on how I'm proceeding to solder up this UNUN. I've already got the highest impedance ratio soldered. The next pair, I've got it stripped, and I wanted to mention a little trouble I had with that pair. I'm using these strippers, and I tried to bend these leads apart like I mentioned in the last video I tried to do. Get in close and strip them off right. I was going to leave the zip ties, but as soon as I did that, the zip tie just flew most of the way off and everything came apart on that pair. So I said, screw it. And what I started doing was, and what I did, I just marked with a Sharpie where I wanted to strip the red wire, because I started with a black, so I evened things up, marked the red wire, and stripped it. But then I realized, man, that's clunky. There's a better way. And I've already done this to all of these pairs around here except the last one because I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm deciding where I want to start, where I want to make my strip. And I'm just taking my pliers, my, needle nose pliers, and giving it a squeeze. And you probably can't see that. But it squeezes the insulation. And, yeah, you could use a Sharpie, but what are you going to do on the black wire? You know what I mean? So I give the black wire a little squeeze. And there we go. And now I can just pull the zip ties off like this. Well, I don't have my, oh yes I do too. Now I can just pull the zip, remove, okay, come on man, I'm shaky and I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Now you can, straighten things. Now it's easy to strip. And after they're stripped, you just push them back on down and twist them up. Okay? And for you guys that are, kind of new to soldering, I want to give you a little hint. I want to let you watch me solder this pair that I've twisted up, okay? Because it's a pretty sizable pair of wire, bundle of wire there, man. I'm using a El Cheapo Weller soldering station that I adore, and I'll never use anything else. It's kind of similar. It's an ultra cheap version of the Weller system I used in the hospital. And I've got a selection of points, and right now I'm using a chisel point, the widest chisel point I have. I've got the temperature turned up nice and high, and I'm going to clean my point and let you watch me solder that. And the thing is, guys, there's only one trick to it. I'm going to try zooming this in. Hang on. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough for my quality of video anyway. So what you want to do, you don't want to start in the middle. You don't want to start up here. You want to start at the very end, because if you start back here, you've got all this wire toward the core, removing the heat from that point. You've got wire both sides of your soldering iron tip, soldering pencil tip, removing the heat from where you're trying to solder. And even when this is turned all the way up, it's only 40 watts. So, and it's not turned all the way up. I've got it set at 4 out of 5. And yeah, so you want to start here. And as you're working on soldering the end there, the heat's flowing this way toward where you're going to solder. Okay? So I cleaned my tip again. Now I'm going to look at my actual work, not the phone. You always want to put some solder on your tip to help transfer the heat to the wire. And just start toward the end. And start working your way toward the core. Boy, I can't see what I'm doing. I really can't. And things are turning. It's turning on me. It's turning. But that's basically what I do. This thing's turned on me, and I've got a really nasty looking cold solder joint. It's not shiny. Hard working behind the camera. Sorry to keep crying about it, but it is, man. You try it. And that's good enough for a demonstration. I'll go back over that. But I always check the other side. Look at the other side. Is it soldered completely? You could maybe make an argument that it is, but you could just as easily make an argument that it isn't. And yeah, touch it up. An even better way to do this, I'll show you. And this is a worst case scenario, using a 40-watt soldering pencil to do the job. But it does the job just fine. That's a good quality solder connection. I'm going to show you something. Let me see. Zoom you back out. Whoa, not that way, Charlie. If I were you, and if you have the equipment, let me show you what you should use. Right there, man. But it just so happens mine's broken. It needs a new tip. So, anyway, an UNUN hint. That's how I do it. That should help you. I don't need to demonstrate stripping those wires and doing that again. But my point, the moral of the story, the bottom line is that. That's how I mark my wires. I hope you're well. 73, guys.